Hello and welcome to the final session of the Facebook marketing series for 2018. Excited to share this with you because in this session, we're going to talk about an ongoing checklist for what to do when you're doing Facebook marketing. Now, some of you really enjoy using Facebook for personal reasons, connecting with friends and family, colleagues, clients, etc. And some of you are really just excited to use Facebook for the marketing part of it. To be honest, I'm actually more on that side. I don't really use Facebook for personal reasons. I don't post. I do post pictures of my dog, but that's like on a separate fan page. Buddy the pup, if you ever see, it's like 70 fans or whatever. But I don't post it on my personal profile. I only use Facebook really for marketing, for business. So that's okay. It's okay to do that. Of course, I have personal friends and family on Facebook Messenger that I use almost as a private, messaging system. But yeah, it's okay. In other words, not to uh, invest all that time in the personal side of Facebook. It's okay just to use it for business reasons. And that's what we're going to talk about today with the checklist so that you can use it more efficiently. Now, as usual, I encourage you to look at the document so that you can follow along. And I'm going to share the page so that the document with you, and we'll walk through it here. Okay. So let's take a look here. Okay. So session 4, what we haven't yet done is analyze ads. And so we'll talk about that first. We'll talk about analyzing ads. We'll touch a little bit about tracking purchases, conversions. That gets a little too complicated for our call here. Remember, you can always come to the Q&A call. You have access every time you buy one of these workshops from me. You have access for 3 months of Q&A. So be sure to click on that and access that. And then we're going to finish off the session with the ongoing Facebook checklist. I want to thank those of you who are able to be here live for the recording of this. And those who are live, please do post your questions in the chat. And I will pause occasionally to take a look at your questions and do my best to answer them as we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and by the way, whenever you're looking at the Google Doc, you should be able to click on View and Show Document Outline on the left-hand side. And the document outline allows you to kind of scroll back and forth between the different sections, the different sessions, the pathway. You might want to take a look at the overall Facebook ad strategy. So that's easy to kind of look at on the left-hand side. Right now, we're creating Facebook ad audiences. All these things are here in the document outline. And then now we're going to, of course, go to session 4 here, analyzing ads. So I'm going to, of course, show you my ads, and then we can take a look at it together here. So when you analyze ads, go to your list of ads, and that's the link right here. Will take you to a page that looks something like this. Okay, now a couple of things. One is sometimes people forget that they need to change the date. They're like, hey, how come I can't see some of the old ads? How come some of these results? I know I spent money in the past on these things. How come it's not showing up? Well, it's because the date you've set is only showing the money spent and the results during those dates. So let's say I want to look at everything from the beginning of this year. So then I would click on the date thing, and then I would just scroll back to January 1st, and then we'll go to, today is March 7th, so click Update. Okay, so now I am seeing the results from the spending of ads and the results from that spending from the beginning of the year, and I've spent about $630 thus far in the last 2 months, two months and a week. And then what I also like to do to kind of keep things more streamlined, because basically, look, if I scroll down, there's a bunch of, I honestly, Facebook is not, in my opinion, the best designers of the ad platform, because look, why are they showing us all these ads that didn't have any money spent, right? Like you scroll forever, right? So what I like to do is I like to use filters, and then I like to, if you don't have this, that's the Save Filters Had Delivery, you basically go to Add Campaign Delivery, and you say, let's see here, actually, I'm sorry, active. Okay. Actually, those of you who have access to your ads manager, can you tell me if you're seeing the ad delivery? I think it's available for all ad accounts. Anyway, I click on ad delivery. So okay, yeah, I'm glad I clicked on that, because basically this is campaign delivery any. Okay, impressions is greater than 0. So that might be, if you can't find the ad delivery one. Okay, if you can't find that, the easiest way to do it is to go to campaign metrics, impressions campaign. Okay, so filters, campaign metrics, impressions campaign, and just say greater than 0 and press apply. And so this will basically show you all the ads that had show to at least one person in the world during that date. So that's probably the most simple way of doing that. Okay. And then next, what I like to do is I like to set the different columns for what I want to analyze. Okay, a lot of people don't realize that this tool, analysis tool, is like a really, really fancy spreadsheet. Except you don't need to learn how to use spreadsheets. You just need to learn how to check boxes. So if you know how to check boxes, click on this that says custom here, or it doesn't say custom, it probably says performance, because most people kind of start there. That's kind of the default one. And then kind of gives you things like reach, impressions, cost per result. I really don't like cost per result, because I have all kinds of different results I'm tracking, like per link click, $3 per link click, 64 cents per link click, per post engagement. So I think cost per result is very confusing, okay? Because it's basically all kinds of different metrics. So how do you know? Amount spend, all that stuff. So I like to click on performance or columns here. I like to customize columns. And I like to add, and I like to, take away the ones that I don't use. So for example, if I don't want to see people taking action, if I don't want to see cost per result, I'll take those out. And you can also click and drag the dots to kind of reorder. Yeah, I want to see impressions first, or I want to see budget first, or whatever. You can just click and drag these things. So you might say, well, George, you have a favorite list of metrics you like to look at. And I'm glad you asked, or didn't ask. But here it is, in the document. Okay, so I like to kind of look at amount spent, the schedule, reach, frequency. Amount spent, obviously, how much did you spend on that campaign? Okay. Schedule is, well, when is the campaign starting and ending, right? Reach is how many individual people did that campaign reach? And I think I talked about this last time, but basically, if you're wondering, like, George, can you talk of what is campaign ads and ad sets and ads? The way it works is a campaign can have multiple ad sets and multiple ads. That's why it's 3 levels of thinking. Okay, ad set is basically what audience are you targeting? Where are you delivering the ad, on a mobile device or a desktop or whatever? So ad set is basically budget, audience, delivery. Okay, and then the ads are, is it a text thing? Is it an image you're advertising? Just to keep it really simple, think of a campaign as most of you are beginners, and you're going to just think of one campaign, one ad set, one ad. That's all you're going to think about. It's just one, okay? When you get more advanced, you're going to start doing ad sets, different audiences. Hey, I'm going to split test. I'm going to advertise to a cold audience and a warm audience, see what happens. Or I'm going to advertise to 2 cold audiences with 1 advertisement and see what happens. So when you get more sophisticated, you'll do multiple ad sets and maybe even multiple ads. But the most simple way of thinking about it, just one campaign is 1 ad, 1 audience, and 1 ad. Simple, okay? Easy. All right? So the reach is basically how many people did your campaign reach. Frequency is, on average, each person who saw your campaign, how many times did they see it? I've talked about this in previous sessions. I like to keep the number, right? If it's a warm audience, I like to keep it under 2 frequency. If it's a cold audience, I like to keep it under 3. Okay, not that you can't go higher. It's just that I think it's more courteous not to. I think people get tired. You've gotten tired of seeing the same ad over and over again. I think 2 is kind of it's very courteous, right? Like 2 times, not a big deal. 3, 4, 5. I've seen an article of a company testing this, and they tested ad frequency up to 83. That's ridiculous. An audience member on average seeing the ad 83 times. And the reason they kept doing that is they kept seeing conversions, and they only turned it off after 83 because the conversions dramatically dropped. Now, most of the time, and I should tell you actually before I go on, since the previous session, I got a notification from Facebook that I was running enough ads that they wanted to talk with me privately to kind of answer any questions I had. And this is not for everybody, and I was glad that I got that notification. Apparently, I'm managing enough clients' accounts that they said, this George Kao guy, well, obviously probably tens of thousands of people around the world getting that notification. But I got that notification, and I was able to have a conversation with somebody at Facebook headquarters, one of their advertising experts, got some of my advanced questions answered. And basically, I'm in the 28-day period where she's happy to answer my email just within these 28 days. So that 28 days ends in, I think, 2 weeks. So if you have any advanced Facebook ads questions, this is the time to ask me, because I'll be able to get headquarters to answer it. Now, after that, I'm sure I can find a way to get some other expert to answer it. But just so you know, I have this window right now. And whenever you see this, maybe you're seeing this in December of 2018 or 2019, you could still ask me advanced questions that are not covered in this training, and I will be happy to try to answer it for you or to try to find an answer for you. Okay. So anyway, long story short, I did ask the Facebook headquarters person, say, hey, have you noticed what frequency is really best to turn off ads? And she also told me 2.2 was her number. So that was a good validation for me, because I always thought it was between 2 and 3, right? So, okay. Relevance. This I've talked about. Try to keep it. I'm updating the number. Try to keep it above 7 or above if you can. I said 8 or above last time. I'm going to be more liberal and say 7 or above. Basically, as the lower your relevance is, how happy people are to see your ad, right? The lower it is, the more you're spending. Literally, like one person, you might be spending $1 per click, and somebody with low relevance might be spending $5 per click for the same ad. I mean, it's that dramatic. I don't know the number. They keep that under wraps, but it is a dramatic cost increase as the relevance goes down. Got it? Same thing on Google AdWords, by the way. If you do Google AdWords, the quality score is the same thing. Like, you could be spending 10 times more per click than somebody else because your quality score was low. On Facebook, it's called relevance score. Cost per 1,000 people reached. This is a nice number for me. I think I like to see it because I want to see how many unique individual human beings am I reaching for that ad. How much money? Is it 30 cents? Is it $2? I want to know. Cost per post reaction is a really nice overall metric I found for how does the audience like your ad. And we're going to look at actual numbers here. Okay, cost per post share, just like as it sounds. You shared it with, you advertised it to 100 people reached, maybe 2 people shared it forward. And so you spent $10, and what's the cost per share? $5 per share. Okay. It's just an overall, like, give you a gauge of all the ads you're running. Which one are you most likely to go viral? Which ad, basically? The lower cost per share is more likely to go viral. Okay. Cost per unique outbound click is basically, if you have a link in that ad, if you have a link to your website or to some other website outside of Facebook.com, how much did you have to spend for any unique individual human being to click out? Okay, this one is not the same as cost per click. Cost per click on Facebook is very complicated. I don't like that number, because it can mean click. What do you mean by click? Do you mean click onto another Facebook place, or see more? Or I don't think see more is considered cost per click. But anyway, cost per unique outbound click is my recommendation. Okay. See, Jason has a question. Says, how do we improve relevance? How do we guess relevance, especially for cold audience? That is a billion-dollar question, literally, because advertisers are spending billions of dollars, or at least millions of dollars, figuring that out, trying to figure out, well, there is no simple answer, Jason. If I can give you a simple answer, Facebook would be hiring me right now to lead all their ads campaigns, because the answer is to test. The answer is to test. So don't go ahead and spend $100 on any ad. That's foolish. Spend $10 first, or $30 first. Spend a small amount that you're willing to lose. No harm done. Happy to lose that money. to see what the relevance is. Now, you won't get relevance until your ad reaches enough impressions, enough people seeing it enough times. It's something like 500, you have to reach at least 500 people before the relevance score kicks in, okay? So yeah, you can't know relevance in advance. Yes, okay, the only way to know is this, by looking at your previous ads and looking at the ones that were high relevance and seeing what the pattern is, and the ones that were low relevance and seeing what the pattern is. Now, the other factor besides looking at your previous ads and kind of seeing a pattern here of what's high relevance, what's low relevance, right, is the audience. Because your warm audience may love an ad from you because they know you and love you. But a cold audience might, well, like it sounds, they're cold. They don't know you yet. And so they might really not like an ad that a warm audience loved. So it's not just about, well, the image was good or the writing was good or the video was good. It's not that. Is it good in relevance to that audience? It's a relevance to an audience. It's not to any human being in the world. Because advertising is about talking to specific people, right? It's not talking to everybody. If you're trying to talk to everybody, you're talking to nobody, right? If you're trying to talk to everybody, you're resonating with nobody. If you're trying to talk to a particular group, you have a chance of resonating with them, right? Okay, so okay, let's go on to. And in terms of the size of the audience, I talked about in previous sessions, I said, basically try to go above 1,000 bottom line. I mean, if you're doing a really targeted audience, maybe under 1,000 could work. But again, the answer is to test. Because I'm testing now anywhere from 1,000 to 1,000,000 right now, and in terms of audience size. And it really depends. Sometimes the larger numbers of a couple 100,000 works really, really well. Test. Test is the answer, okay? Any marketing expert worth their salt is going to say the right answer is to test. I cannot give you the perfect answer on any ad. I can give you the formula to test. I can't give you, no marketing expert can give you an answer. I frequently get clients saying, George, can you tell me if this ad's going to work? Test. If George Cow is the perfect client for you, like the ideal, you want to reach all the George Cows in the world, then I am the perfect audience for you to ask me that question. But for most of you, the George Cow is not the ideal audience. I'm not the right age group. I'm not the right, maybe you're trying to target women. Maybe you're trying to target, people who are in a particular profession that you know what I mean? Like, I am not your ideal audience. So why are you asking me the question about an ad? I'm not saying anybody here is, but that's the idea, right? So don't ask your marketing coach what they think of your ad. They should tell you, test with the right audience, or they should tell you, the marketing coach that's good will say, oh, good, let's brainstorm who among your friends is the right audience for your ad, and let's go ask them if they like it, right? Okay, yeah. Eric says, yeah, we expect you to give us a perfect answer. No. Danielle says, have you covered landing page views as opposed to clicks as a campaign objective? Yeah. Yes, we did cover that last time, and if any questions beyond that, let's definitely talk about that. Cost per website conversion, of course, I love to see that if you are, doing a conversion-based campaign, like trying to sell something. If you're, these other ones, how many post reactions did you get? How many comments did you get? How many shares did you get? How many likes for your page did you get? Could be relevant for you. You might want to add that in just for kicks. You can add as many columns as you want. So let's go ahead and try that right now. You basically click on performance for columns. You click on customize columns down here. I'm going to make this everything a little bit bigger here. Okay, click columns, customize columns. Okay, and then you can delete the ones that you don't want. Let's say I don't want impressions. Let's say I don't want cost per result. I don't need to see when it ends. I just need to see the schedule. I don't want to see people taking action. That's too broad. What the heck does that mean? That can mean a million different things. Not a million, but it can mean approximately a couple dozen things. But let's take a look at, and then you would click on search up here. Remember I said something like cost per post reaction. So you start typing in cost. You just follow along basically to my list here, and you can type them into the search. Cost per post comment reaction. You want to add that, okay? And then another one let's add is relevance. Relevance. I'm just going to, okay, that's already added in. And then frequency. Oops, frequency. Frequency, great. And then I have a conversion event called cost per $45 workshop sold. So I'm going to type in $45 cost per $45 workshop sold. Basically, they get to my thank you. All of you have been to my $45 thank you page. That's why you're here, right? So thank you for buying this workshop, and I'm gonna click apply. Okay, so now I'm looking at some of the interesting numbers that I care about, like frequency, for example. And you can see for all year thus far, I have had a frequency about 2.93. These are averages. I'm sorry. Some of these are total, some of these are averages. So I've reached almost 13,000 people this year. Very cool, right? By spending $630. And I mean, if you think about it, like never in history has it been this easy to reach a particular type of person, right? Or a particular group of people for this low of a cost. 13,000 people saw some message from me. I spent less than $1,000 to do that. It's incredible. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Cost per post reaction. So this is an average. So all year long, it's cost me about $1.50 to have one person like my post or love my post or whatever. Like, love, wow, you've seen all those, right? $1.45 on average. So you might say, George, what's the ideal cost per post reaction? What's my answer going to be for you? Depends on the audience, right? My answer for you is it's not the ideal cost per post reaction. It's how can you optimize that number for yourself over time? Do you see what I mean? So for example, if you see here that $1.45 is my average, spend $1.45 for every person to click like on a post, right? That means that this one, $4.76 per post reaction, was a terrible ad. It costs 3 times as much as my average. It's terrible. But look at this one, 76 cents for a post reaction. That's a great ad. Does that make sense? Not if you understand. Like we're looking at comparing to your own average. Your own average right now, if you're not doing relevant content, could be like $3 per post reaction. But yours could be great. Yours could be at 50 cents on average. You want to look at the different ads as compared to your average. And you try to get your own average down over time. Does that make sense? Get your own average per post reaction down over time. Okay? So, but look at this, cool and Sewa. What does that mean? Cool means my cool audience, and Sewa is my semi-warm audience. People who are part of my email list or part of my website or part of my Facebook fans who haven't engaged with my post for whatever reason for at least 90 days. That's how I define that. And so I'm kind of sending an ad to both audiences. And look at this. I mean, you could see this, right? My ad about being strict and lenient was not, they didn't like it. But the one about financial freedom and what I thought about financial freedom, they loved that one. Okay, so that gives me an idea. Oh, so they really want me to talk more about my thoughts about money and making money. And of course, my thoughts about that are quite different than most people's thoughts on it. So I think that's why people like it. They're like, oh, this is a fresh perspective. I like this guy's values. He's not about get rich quick. He's about adding value to the world. And, so people really resonated with that. And the whole strict and lenient thing, I think people didn't like that a lot because they were like, oh my God, you're asking me to level up. And maybe I said it in a way that felt very confronting to them. So they're like, no, not good. Frequency, right? Frequency is basically how, on average, how many times they saw it. Now, remember I said that to cool audiences, I have one frequency number, and to warm audiences, I have another frequency number. Like I want to show audience, okay, so how do I filter my campaigns by the warm audiences versus the cool ones? If you have named your campaigns well, remember we talked in session 2 about naming your campaigns thoughtfully. And by the way, you can still change the names. So for example, if I said, gosh, I want to change the name of this so that I can filter better. I'll show you what I mean. This is essentially to a warm audience, okay? warm audience. I'm just going to put warm there. I'm going to click publish. It's weird. It says publish even though the ad is already old and I'm no longer running the ad. It just wants me to publish the changes to even the name of the campaign. So that's what that meant. Okay, and I can basically minimize this pop-up by clicking the arrow right there. Okay, so you can change the name of any campaign even after the fact by just moving over the campaign and clicking the edit button underneath it. Got it? Okay. So now that I've gotten the campaign names, okay, warm. See, I used to use the word likely. I'm using the word cool now. So I'm gonna change that to cool. Okay, change that to cool. Click publish, and then minimize that. Now I can, if once let's say I've already named everything properly, then I can go to search. Okay, search by campaign name. Oh, by the way, I'm going to X out. I apparently have selected one campaign. I'm going to unselect it by Xing this out because I don't want to mess up my search there. I click search, campaign name, and I'm going to say cool. So I'm only going to look at my campaigns that were sent to cool audiences so I can compare what my results were, apples to apples, right? Ads to cool audiences should be compared by themselves versus ads to warm audiences. Does that make sense? Right? Because warm people have a different feeling towards you. Of course, they're going to react to your ads differently than people who don't know who you are. Cool audiences. So I'm going to say cool, campaign name equals, I use the search box, right? Campaign name equals cool, contains cool, and I click apply. Now, just like a very savvy spreadsheet, it is now only showing me campaigns that are partially named cool, that have the word cool in it. So now I'm looking only at my cool campaigns, my cold audiences, okay? So you can see that I have reached 8,000 new people this year. People who don't know who I am. Reached 8,000 people. Very cool, right? Very nice. And actually, you know what? I have to say, I am not sure if this is 8,000 unique people or 8,000 people. Some of these could have been combined. So that's a question I have to ask Facebook headquarters. I think this is combined. I don't think this is 8,000 unique people because if you look at these numbers, some of these numbers I'm sure are the same people. Okay. Okay. So, one of the questions, thanks, Richard, says, hey, how do we know, let's say we didn't name a campaign well, and we don't know, well, which audience was this, right? To find out which audience you used, if you forgot to name it, then you basically click on the campaign itself, and that will automatically bring you to the ad set tab for that campaign. And if you don't know what these are, you can click on edit underneath the ad set. Okay, so when you click that campaign, it brought you automatically to the ad set just for that campaign. You click on edit underneath the ad set, and this will pop up for you what, if you scroll down, you'll see what exact audience it was. Make sense? Okay, so give that a try. But anyway, we were looking at my cool audiences here, right? Yeah, those of you who are live, please keep asking questions. I'll do my best to, and if I didn't answer your question, please ask it again so that I can get a better, make sure I don't miss it. Okay. So here we are analyzing ads that were to my cool audiences. I spent $250 to reach people who don't know me this year thus far. And my cost per post reaction is $1.41. So that's my average to compare with, to say, what do people don't know me? What do they want to see from me? Do you see how useful this is? This is helping us. If you test enough ads, the world will tell you what they want from you. Whoops. Oh, sorry about that. Please keep your microphone muted, by the way. Everyone's muted by default. Someone just unmuted accidentally. Okay. And then frequency. So up to this year, up to now, my average frequency for cool audiences has only been 1.48. I really could up that to between 2 and 3, meaning on average, how many times did they see each ad? They only saw it 1.5 times, okay? Okay, so let's now look at my conversion campaigns. When I try to sell my workshops, how is it working out? So how do I do that? So let me get rid of the cool filter, right? You remember I was looking just at the cool audience? I'm gonna get rid of that, Xing this out. I'm still looking at campaigns that were delivered in this time frame. Okay, so impressions is greater than 0. And now I'm going to filter also by objective. Okay, so I use filter, I come to objective, and I say I want to look at conversions. I want to look at the campaigns I bought where I was trying to sell something. How did those work? So I click on conversions. Okay. And now you are only looking at, and to be honest, I'm a little bit embarrassed. I've only run 4 conversion ads in the last 2 months. I really should. Well, actually, I've only been selling 3 workshops. So that's not bad. 4 ads for 3 workshops. Not so bad. So this is exciting to me. Okay. I want to show you something. For every $11 that I spent on conversion ads, I earned $45 in workshop revenue. Basically, $35 profit. So what does that mean? That means that, theoretically speaking, if I spent $1,000, right? If I spent $1,000, I could earn $4,500 back. Is that better than the stock market? Couple dozen times better than the stock market. It's 350% return. How much are you getting in your retirement investment right now? 5 to 10% if you're lucky. It's stable. Stable 10% would be like woohoo, right? What if you could come up with a way to invest your retirement funds in a way that you could really control? Not in some mutual fund that could be investing in guns and tobacco and who knows, child labor. Where are your investment funds going? You don't know. And investing in companies that have bad, racial and gender practices. I don't know. A lot of companies have bad practices. What if you could invest your money in your own Facebook ads in a way that's scalable, that you can control? You can say, let me start with $1,000. I'm not going to invest my entire retirement savings. Let me start with 1,000 on a bunch of different ads. Oh my God, it worked. Oh my God, look at the cost per conversion. Even with cold audiences, I'm getting 100% return on investment. That's 10 times more than 10 times what I'm getting for my retirement investments right now. Is this exciting? Like, you could basically retire, by getting the right ads and the right offers. Now, what I want you all to do is think about this, right? Could you create an online course or a book? Richard already has a book, right? Could you create an online course, Richard? Maybe you already have one. I'm actually partnering with a few of my friends and a few of my clients where I'm investing money in their business because I believe in their online offer. I believe I have to have a client or a friend who's offering I could really see scaling. And I'd say, hey, listen, I will manage your Facebook ads for you. And this is true for everybody watching this course. If you can show me an online course that is at least having some initial conversions, I will manage your Facebook ads and I will invest my own money into your own company. And I'll say, listen, let's split the profits 50-50, right? Richard, I manage your ads. I put the money in, right? So I'm using that as an example of how exciting this could be for you to invest your own money wisely. So like I said, even with my cold audiences, right? I spent $20 for a $45 workshop conversion on average. So if I spent $2,000 there, could I earn $4,500? Maybe. I'll have to keep scaling it up to test it, right? Because I only spent $80 on that one. But that was a cool audience. So it's possibly scalable, right? Is that making sense? Is this exciting? Like, is it making sense that you could possibly have better investment here than with your mutual fund? Or with your bond, with even government bonds or whatever. Like, this could be a better spend of your investments. Okay. So anyway, that's why all of us should have some kind of do-it-yourself offer. Something under $50. This is important. I think it should be under $50 for better Facebook. Not $100, not $500 offer. $20 offer, $10, $50, $45 offer. And then let's talk, then maybe I can help you manage your ads, right? Without cost to you. I will basically take my own profits and then we can go from there. So let's keep going here. I spent too much time on this analysis thing. We talked about the dates, setting that correctly. We talked about, oh yeah, the breakdown. So if you want to say, well, George, I want to know how did it do with each month or each week. So you click on the breakdown menu, and then you could say, I want to analyze it. Let's say you only ran the ad for a week, a 1 week ad. And so most of these are 1 week ads. If you're going to analyze a 1 week ad, you would click on the day breakdown. Again, breakdown by time and due day. And this will now show you for each, because I'm sorry, see, I used January through March 7th. So it's giving me every single day in that 2.5 month or two month window. So this is when the ads were running, and you could see how many people I reached during those particular days, how much did I spend, the cost per reaction. And the reason why this might be useful for you is for you, if you see a dramatic difference, to say, oh my gosh, look, the cost per reaction was really bad on a particular day. You might say, well, what day was that of the week? Was it Sunday? Was it Monday? Was it Wednesday? And if you consistently see that to be the case, you might say, well, maybe I should run my ads on a Wednesday because I always get like 5 times as much cost per reaction. Does that make sense? So that's what's helpful. And then you can also, let me go back to none here. And the week will, if you run like a month-long ad, you would use the week, okay? That will break it down by weeks. So you can kind of see it, get a sense there. Let me put it back to none. And now you can also say, well, let's analyze age and gender. What audience? This is so useful because you can then your ads will tell you who likes you and your presence and your ads the best. What age? Maybe you're clear about the gender. Maybe it's mostly women, mostly men. But then what age group? So let's take a look at that. Age and gender. Very interesting. Okay. Okay, let's look at cost per. By the way, when it's nothing, that means that I didn't even get a reaction. I didn't get a reaction for this ad from females 25 to 34. I didn't get any reaction. But from women between 35 and 44, I got a pretty good reaction. From people who don't know what their gender is. I guess from people who Facebook doesn't know what I don't know why. I mean, maybe some people's accounts, I don't know. They didn't, unusual. I don't know what that means. So I'm just going to disregard that. But let's look at an ad that had a better let's see here. These are all conversion ads, right? So cost per reaction. Wow, look at that. No, again, the unknown is not helpful. But wow, okay, 35 to 44 males had a lower cost per reaction, right, than women 45 to 54. But again, this is not necessarily the best metric because I'm talking about conversions here. I was trying to sell workshops. So then I should look at the cost per $45 workshop sale, right? Then I know, oh, women, it's women 35 to 55 that are buying. The others, they may have been clicking like, but they're not buying. They're not buying. Look at that, right? Great. So now I know I might, if I narrow my campaign in the future, my audience down to just women, I might be spending, my cost per workshop sale might go down dramatically. Better investment. Make sense? So that's why the breakdown menu is very useful. We talked about frequency. We talked about relevance. Oh, you might say, well, George, we didn't look at relevance yet. How do we see relevance? Let me get rid of breakdown so that we don't have too many rows to look at by none. And I'm going to get rid of this one particular campaign where I was looking at. We're just going to look at my conversions. And to see relevance, you have to go to the ads tab. Go to the ads tab, and then you'll be able to see the relevance score. So then you could see that, oh, okay. When I was just advertising my Joe for Productivity workshop, people were okay with it. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. It was 7. Interestingly, when I said that people didn't like my strict and lenient ad, they actually found it quite relevant. It's just that they weren't really clicking like. So they actually liked it. They just weren't clicking it. Okay, so that's interesting. My other one, my content workshop, people liked it. Okay, default name, I really should rename it. So anytime you see an ad that didn't have the right name, you can also click edit, and you can also rename the ad if you know what that ad was. Okay. Oh, this was my Facebook ad. Okay, so Facebook workshop. Okay, conversions. Okay. Publish. Publish again is publish the changes to the name here. In this case, I'm not publishing any other change. Okay. So then Facebook ad, Facebook conversions. Okay. And by the way, you can see that you could sort by various columns. Right now I'm sorting by ad name. Let's say I want to sort by relevance score. I could do that by clicking on the column heading. Now I'm sorting by the most relevant ads to the least relevant. Just click. Now certain columns cannot be clicked on. The ones that I defined by custom, this was a custom definition, custom conversion. I can't sort by that, unfortunately. But most of the other Facebook defined columns, you can sort by it. Okay. All right. Any other questions? I'm just going to take a look at the chat while we're here on this section here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. So if there are no questions about the ad analysis, let's go on to tracking conversions. Okay, let's see here. Okay. So how do you track conversions? So the simple method, I'm going to tell you the simplest way of doing it, which happens to be the way I'm doing it actually, is to click on this link, go to your Facebook Events Manager. I'm not going to click there because that might show a client thing. So I'm going to show you how to surf to it if you're in Ads Manager. You click on this menu here, you go to All Tools, and you look under Measure and Report, and it's under Custom Conversions right there. Okay, Custom Conversions. Okay, so the easiest way to do it, by the way, I'm assuming that you've added your Facebook pixel because you need to. Okay, we talked about that in session 1 or 2, something like that. Okay, so to measure conversions, the simplest way of doing it is when someone buys from you or when someone signs up for your email, you can measure a conversion. Could be they've bought your product or they've signed up for your email list. That could be either conversion, or they scheduled an appointment with you, an exploratory call. That could be considered conversion too. So you decide what that means for you. You can do multiple different conversions you can define as well, okay? But I wanted to know when people bought. And so how do we figure that out? You have to have a unique landing, you have the unique web page on your website where when someone buys, they get directed there. So in PayPal, if you use PayPal, I use PayPal. When you create a PayPal button, there is a step 3 that you can define where I'm going to actually, I'm going to log into my PayPal right now and show you where to find that button, okay? So I'm just going to give me a moment to log into my PayPal and then I'll share my screen again, okay? Okay, so I'll show you my PayPal screen. I'm just saying PayPal, just a lot of you use PayPal. If you bought the workshop, you probably have a PayPal account. So when you log into your PayPal, go to Tools, okay, Tools, and then go to, scroll until you find the thing that says PayPal Buttons. PayPal Buttons, there it is. Click Open. And so I basically use buy now buttons for my workshops. If it's a one-time sale, it's a buy now button. If it's a recurring sale, like a monthly membership, I use subscribe. I don't use anything else. I don't use installment plan, not automatic, because these charge you money. You have to pay like a monthly fee for PayPal just to have these options. So I kind of use the free, I have a free PayPal account. I have a merchant account, but it's all free, except when someone actually buys, I pay PayPal 3% of that sale, right? So buy now and subscribe are the only 2 buttons I use. And then to see my existing buttons, I click on View Your Saved Buttons. So I've already created a bunch, of course. So I click on View Saved Buttons. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I'm just going to go back to, let's say we're creating a button on PayPal. I'm not going to walk through this in detail because this is not a PayPal workshop. But when you create a PayPal button, there's something called Step 3 here. And in Step 3, you can basically say, take customers to this web page when they finish their checkout. So you would check that box and you say, yes, take customer to my thank you for buying my $45 workshop web page. And on that web page is basically, it needs to be hidden in your website, meaning people can't just surf to that web page because then you'll mess up your conversion tracking, right? If anybody can just visit it, right? If anybody can just randomly visit, even if they didn't buy it, then Facebook's going to keep thinking you keep making sales when you haven't made a sale yet. So you need to hide that web page from your navigation menu. Does that make sense? Let me tell you what I mean. On my website, you can't just scroll to the thank you for buying the $45 workshop. It's hidden. It's not in my navigation menu. But once you buy it, you know where to go. It takes you there automatically because I checked this box and I've said what that link is. Okay. And be sure to also hide it from from the search engines. There's a checkbox when you create your website to hide particular pages from the search engines. And I'll hide that one, of course, as well. Okay. So once you figure out what that web page is, you then click on Create Custom Conversion. Okay. Create Custom Conversion. And you keep it as, it'll say your name and pixel. And all URL traffic is basically the one that, no, we want, okay, I'll just say this, just to keep it simple, do all URL traffic, okay? And you can either do, just to make it, well, basically don't put www and don't put HTTP. Again, don't put www and don't put HTTP, whatever. Just put it as georgekao.com/thanks for buying whatever .html, whatever the actual link is that people land on after they buy. And you may want to define different landing pages for different product sales. Richard has a book and he has a course. Well, then he might want to say, thanks course.html, right? It's just the people who bought the course will land there, not the people who bought the book. That'll be a separate one, separate landing page, right? And then for each one, let's say people who bought the course, and you may have different courses and you may have different landing pages, right? Then you say, bought course, okay? Bought course, and then that's the name for yourself. This is just for your own information, and that's what you're going to see when you're analyzing your ads. You're going to find the custom column called bought course. You have to type that in, okay? Just earlier, I showed you the custom column I had called $45 thanks or whatever. This one's called bought course. And then select a category as purchase, okay? Purchase. And then the value. So my value, they spent $45 with me. So that's what my value, dollar value. It's a dollar value, basically, okay? 45, 95 or whatever your dollar value is. I click create. And then once you click create, it'll show up here, okay? All right. Any questions about this? Before I go on. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Now let's go down to the ongoing checklist. Okay, so we're going to spend the rest of our 45 minutes on this checklist here. Okay. So this is what I recommend that you do if you want to be really efficient. If you want to spend your Facebook time the best you possibly can spend for your business, this is the checklist to go through. You can, of course, spend a lot of Facebook time wasting your time surfing and blah, 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 hanging out in various groups or whatever, but this is the best use of, I think this is the best use of your time. If you disagree with me, please let me know. Say, George, what about this? What about that? I'm happy to consider different things as well. Oh, one question. Devorah says, what was the point of tracking the thank you page? Is it the only way to track the purchases? Yes. No, it's not the only way. It's the simplest way. There's a more sophisticated way where you can put a different code called a Facebook event, a conversion event. There's if you're savvy with coding, you can basically define additional you can basically, anyway, I'm not going to go through that now, but this is the way I've taught you is this because I'm not even that savvy. I always learn things. I learn things in a way where I feel like most of my audience can probably implement it too. And if I feel like, most people can't do this, then I'm not even going to learn it. I'm just going to learn the easiest way. So, okay. Okay, so let's go through this. So the question is, well, George, is this a weekly checklist? Is this a daily checklist, a bi-weekly, or a monthly checklist? What's the answer? As often as you can. If you have a chronic illness and you can only work one day a month on Facebook, then this checklist is a monthly checklist for you. Make sense? Or not just chronic. If you're busy with, aging parents or with young kids or whatever, you can only do this once a month, do this once a month. If you're able to do this once a week, do this once a week. You'll get more results if you do this more often. Okay, so the first thing to do is to check and respond to important messages. A lot of people don't remember to check their Facebook business page, fan page. I'm going to say fan page from now on to mean business pages or a nonprofit page or whatever, public figure page, your fan page, okay? So you basically go to your fan page. I'm not going to click there because that's going to reveal some client names, but you go to your fan page and you click on inbox on the top left here. And this is just the messages. I'm going to click away as fast as I can. Okay. This is just the private messages. I clicked away from that because I didn't want to show private messages there. But if you click on this little lightning icon, you'll get to your private messages in your fan page or business page. So that's the first thing to do. Check that. Be sure you're responding to everybody. Okay. Most of us, I mean, even me, I get, quite a few messages, but I'm still able to respond. So I really think that it should be 100% response rate at this stage, unless somebody is, a spammer or some other thing. Okay. The way I typically do this is by using an iPhone app called Facebook Pages Manager. And the reason I do that is because it's more efficient. I can do this anywhere I am. And so you might want to try that as well. Okay. Second thing is to respond to the comments and shares on your Facebook. Actually, you know what? Respond to comments, shares, and posts on your Facebook fan page. Most of you aren't getting posts, but most of you get comments at the very least. So the way you find that is come to your Facebook fan page, click inbox, and click on this Facebook icon. And these are all the posts that have comments on it or whatever, things I need to respond to. And once I've responded to it, I can click on the check mark to archive it, put it into the done folder. And if I want to see the things that I archived in the past, I click on the inbox here and I click on done. And that'll show me all the posts and the, visitor posts. I responded to that. That's a public visitor post, these are public comments. I responded to those, so I already clicked the checkbox. So typically you're in the inbox here. Okay. Okay. So, Carolina says, is response time measured and rewarded by Facebook? Yes, it is. So how quickly you respond. Oh, I'm sorry. Response, yes, actually, even with your comments, the faster I reply to Jason's comment here, the more Facebook will tend to surface my posts, at least to Jason, if not to my fans. Again, that's a secret hidden thing. We don't know, but typically, yes. The answer is yes. You get higher reach if you respond more quickly. Now, remember what I said in session 1. Your sustainability is more important than becoming crazy with, oh my God, did I respond? So I take 2, 3, 4 days sometimes, Jason, I'm sorry, right? I take my darn time because I know that my strength is in being sustainable. My strength is in creating content that is authentic and relevant. And I use that strength to surface my posts in Facebook rather than somebody else whose strength might be that they're on Facebook 24/7. And the fact that they have a higher reach is because they respond all the time to everybody. That's not my strength. I have a higher reach because of my content. So you can decide yourself. Do you want to be a squirrel? Or do you want to be a rabbit? Do you want to be a turtle? Now that's unfair because we all know the turtle wins. But all I'm saying is most of you are probably more like me. Like you don't want to be on Facebook 12 hours a day responding instantly, right? You don't want that burden. I don't want that burden either. Yeah. Okay. So so I let people wait. I let people wait. And it's basically at first it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're letting people wait. After a while, you feel pretty good about it. You're like, hey, I get to do my own thing and I get to respond in my own time. Same thing with email. You got to wait. If you get an email response from me quickly, count yourself lucky because I do check email all throughout the day. So I probably have seen your email like within half an hour of you sending it, I've seen it. It's just I didn't respond to you. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm making you wait. It's not that I'm making you wait. It's just that I know my own rhythms and I'm keeping myself sustainable because responding takes energy. Right? I mean, the people who know energy know that there's some kind of chords, there's some kind of, anyway, there's all that stuff you can think about. But I keep myself kind of at a distance to people, not purposefully, actually, yes, purposefully for my own sustainability, because I could feel the energy cord, you might say. I don't want it to be too tight, between people, right? Anyway, so that's that. And then check messages on your personal profile, obviously. you want to, you probably do this like all the time already, but I'm just asking you to, think about a more sustainable way. Same thing with my friends and family. If I probably see their message instantly when they message me, but I probably don't respond unless it's truly important and urgent, right? Okay. So, create now, the second thing to do, okay, is to create content, right? Based on your key topics. So I've given you exact step-by-step instructions here. Do it on your Facebook fan page or business page so that you can gather engagement data. Remember, we've talked about this. How important is it? So that you can advertise to your engagers over time. You can't advertise to your Facebook friends. You can only advertise to the people who have seen and engaged with your business page content, people. This is why I have pretty much abandoned my Facebook profile. I really have. I used to get just like all of us, I used to get way more engagement on my Facebook. You might say, George, but yes, my videos, my Facebook lives, my posts get way more engagement on my Facebook profile than my business page. Well, guess what? It took me about a year to transition over to getting way more engagement on my business page, just organically, not even advertising dollars, just organically. I get way more engagement than when I do. Look at this. I post something, I get maybe 12 likes on my, that's actually a high one. Most of my Facebook stuff, look at this. Oh, no, let me show you most of my Facebook stuff. Okay. 4. Okay. 4 likes on my Facebook profile. When I post it to my business page, I get dozens of likes usually, at least, 2 dozen or so, 1 or 2 dozen at least, like within a day. So it really can change. I'm getting awesome organic engagement now on my Facebook business page. You can too. And I hope you can shift your way in that direction eventually. I know it takes time, and you can kind of straddle both worlds for now until you gradually shift over. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, then the question is, well, how do you do it? Yes. Keep doing this. Keep sharing your business page postings, videos, your posts. Keep sharing it from your business page to your personal profile, and then your friends will get the picture eventually. It's like, oh, let me just I'll follow him over there. I'm not going to look at the fact that he shared it again on the profile. So make the origin posting on your business page, and that will tend. If you keep sharing it to your profile, then people will get the idea. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and basically for my personal profile stuff, I basically post like inspirational things. I might post spiritual things or political things that I don't really care about. I just kind of want a public service message kind of thing. That's what I do on my personal profile now. Okay, so do that on your business page, and then, as I've mentioned before, try to make a variety. Don't always only post images, people. Even when you're trying to share a blog post, don't just always do images. Sometimes do a status update, just words. Sometimes do a video. Sometimes do a link to your website. Keep the variety going, at the very least in the first 6 months, so that you can see what your audience likes from you the best. Okay? At least for the first 6 months. You need enough data. You need at least, I would say, 30 of each type. That's a random number I just picked out of thin air, but that's what I mean is you need enough to see, because maybe you've been doing a bunch of images. I don't know. Maybe your images aren't that great, and you could have been doing status updates and getting way more engagement the whole time. Most people are not that good at images. There are very few people. I know Danielle is on this call. She's great at images. I suck at images, so I don't post images, right? Maybe you're great at video. Maybe you should have been doing that the whole time, right? I don't know. Maybe your videos are not that good, So, it's really about testing and seeing what your audience wants from you. Just a little tip, you might want to use symbols. You probably do that already. Use Facebook's emojis, right? On the Mac, by the way, emoji is the emoji keyboard is Control Command Space. If the cursor's blinking, you hold down Control, you hold down Command, you press Space one time, and then the emoji keyboard will pop up. That's on the Mac. I don't know what on Windows is, but yeah, you might put emojis to make it more fun. Jason Hopkinson's great at that emoji stuff. So yeah, when's the best time for your post to be published? I recommend that you basically first, of course, we've talked about this before, but you look at your insights and you look at your posts on the left-hand side, and you look at basically what day of the week. If it's pretty much, mine is pretty much the same, so it doesn't really matter for me. But the time of day is very dramatic here. So this is the time of day is, of course, times are shown in your computer's local time zone. So for me, that's California time. So for my audience, it's California time, sometimes 7 a.m. It's pretty good all the way till 7 p.m. So 12-hour window is what I have. So I would schedule my post to go out sometime between in that window, right? So the earlier, of course, the better it gets kind of traffic throughout the day. So that's kind of what I'm getting. That's the message I'm getting here from my stats. But then once you figure out what your overall time is, try to schedule your posts to go out at the same time each day. Do that for 6 months, at least 3 months, because then you can compare apples to apples, right? Because if you're telling me, George, my videos are not doing as well as my status updates or not doing as well as my images, then I'm going to ask you, did you post them at different times? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I always do videos at this time versus my. If you get 3 months of data or 6 months of data at the same time that you post, then we can compare apples to apples. Then we could say, is text better for you, or video, or image, or link? Okay. All right. How often should you post things to your Facebook business page? Up to 2 times a day. That's just a simple guideline. Especially with the 2018 algorithm changes, they don't want you doing. That's what I've seen. That's what I've seen as I've read a lot of articles about it. More than 2 times a day, you're going to be compromising your reach by a lot. This is true on your business page, and this is true on your personal profile. I see some of my own friends. I love some of my friends, but they post like 5, 6, 7 times a day on their profile, share stuff. Like, that's too much, right? It's too much. It really is. Just do 1 or 2 times a day, max. Okay. All right. But at least once a week, right? But up to 2 times a day. Okay. What do you post about? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I have a whole entire workshop that you can buy on what to post about. $45 is totally worth your while, I think. If not, I'll give you your money back. So you might want to buy that workshop or buy my book. The workshop comes with my book, by the way. So at least the electronic version of it. But let me give you some quick overview advice on it, which is remember your audience. If you can remember your audience and talk to them, look them in the eye, so-called, think about their heart, think about what they're going through in their life, and talk to them about what they're going through and what you can share that might help what they're going through or might connect with what they're going through, your posts will tend to get higher reach, higher engagement, and your advertising costs go down. Basically, that's it. Now, sometimes you can also just post based on your inspired moment. Yes, try both. Sometimes my inspired moments do great because my inspired moments might also somehow be tapping into what my audience is inspired by. But a lot of times my inspired moments kind of go over audiences' heads, right? And I get very low engagement. Stuff I love, they might not love. So always try to think about your audience, okay? And of course, we can also look at our niche mates Facebook pages, our competitors, our niche mates, and see what's getting engagement there, and ask ourselves. So, for example, one of my niche mates might be, the social entrepreneur. Well, let's see, Bill Barron. I'll say Bill Barron coaching. Okay. So pages. He kind of does success, marketing, business type stuff, and conscious, so-called. So I like to come here and I'll just say, well, what's he talking about that is getting a lot of, so I go right to post on the left, right? And I'll just kind of scroll through and kind of look for the ones, okay, there's 6 likes there, 7 likes. Okay, so that's the baseline for him is 6 or 7, right? 7, right? See the baseline right there, 7. So I'm looking, double, right? This is more engaging to his audience, which is also my audience, more than his typical stuff. He got 3 shares. So how to go from procrastination to creative genius? Well, there you go. I have lots to say about procrastination too. So if I talk about that, it's more likely to do well with my audience too. So let's keep looking at more. 10, enroll clients, of course. That's a popular topic. That I understand that. So if I talk about how to enroll more clients, then I'm probably gonna get above average likes as well, right? Yeah. Wow. I have to say, man, the Bill Barron team needs to really up their Facebook marketing, because they have 57,000 fans and they're getting 5 likes per post. That's I have 4,000 fans and I'm getting almost 5,000. I'm getting about 20 or so on average. So anyway, not to criticize them. I think they have a lot of opportunity, but and please, nobody watching this, nobody contact them. Okay. I would like to stay ahead if possible. No, it's fine. Okay, so let's keep going here. Optional, share your fan page post to your personal timeline. I've talked about that. So how do you do that? You basically go to your fan page posting. Okay, whoops. Go to your fan page. Okay, go to the post that you want to share to your private, to your personal timeline. Remember, I said that's a way to eventually, help people to just pay attention to your business page instead. You go there, you click share. I don't even do it anymore. I mean, I yes, once a week now, I share the best post of the previous week to my personal timeline, but I used to share every single one. So click on share, and then instead of share to a page, click on share again. And then click on share on a page you manage, and then click on share on your timeline. So that's how you, and let me run through the steps one more time. And say something, don't just click post. I mean, you can if you want, but try to say something, why this is helpful for the audience that you're sharing it with, which is basically your Facebook friends, or, the people who follow your Facebook personal profile. Okay. Let me run through the steps one more time. Go to your fan page, go to the post that you want to share to your personal timeline, click on share one more time, click on share on a page you manage, and then click on share on your timeline. You can see you can have various options too, but we're going to share on your timeline is your personal timeline. This is where your Facebook friends are. And then you say something, and then you can click on show all. You're going to see what they're going to see. So they're going to see, my video. They're going to see all the words associated with my video. But I'm going to say something else just out of courtesy, like, oh, friends, here's how I blah, 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 whatever. Okay. And then click post. You can also choose to show it just to your friends, or choose public, or choose friends except, my mom and my cousin, my client, whatever. You can prevent your critical, family member by seeing your post. It's going to show to all your friends except your critical family member and your classmate that doesn't want to see your business stuff. I don't know, whatever. Okay. So that's that option right there. Okay. So let's go to, okay. Oh, right. Okay. So I've talked about why that's helpful. And then the third thing to do. So again, reviewing, if you're going to use Facebook effectively, check and respond to your important messages, which primarily on your business page, and the comments, shares, and posts on your fan page. We talked about that, your messages. Second thing that's important is to schedule content to post. Okay. How do you select people for friends accept? Okay, let me got a question there. Let me just show you here. Share timeline. Okay, friends accept. So public would be anybody on Facebook. People who are following you, people who aren't your friends yet, will be able to see that content as well. So the benefit of using public is that people who are checking you out, whether they want to be your friend, will be able to see your business page content as well. Okay, which might be nice, because you might be able to, if they click on view your video or view your posting, they're now going to be included in your engagers audience, right? But friends accept, you click on that. And basically, I've already, let's say I was excluding that for whatever reason. It doesn't make sense for me to exclude clients. But anyway, I was showing an example to an earlier group. But you would say, I want this to be seen except for my, for my mom. My mom is very supportive of my content. She's critical in other ways, but anyway, let's say you don't want your mom to see it, right? And you don't want your old friend, random person. I'm just going to say Aaron Ross. He's supportive too, but I'm just going to say random person. So you find the person, you click on this to make it red, okay? And I don't want that Jason guy. He never likes any of my stuff, so I'm going to remove him from that. Okay, he's not going to see it. And I'm going to click Save Changes. Okay, so then to double check, I move my mouse over it and it says, oh yeah, friends except Jason, Grace, and Aaron. And if I post this will go to all of my friends except for those 3 people. And so you might want to test this out. Test sharing some of your content public, and test sharing some of your content with friends except certain people that really don't need to see your stuff. And you can even create a whole friend list of, these are 30 people. I don't want to see my business postings. And you can literally go there, and once you've defined that friend list, you can say, I want these 30 people except my, I don't know. I've defined a client list. I want these, all my friends except for my client group and Jason, to see my posting. You can define a whole group of people and then click post. Now you might say, well, George, how do you define a friend list, right? To define a friend list, you go to Home, you go under See More. Oh, sorry, it's under Explore. You might have to click See More, but it's friend list is right there. Okay, lists. I'll just chat the link over. That's how you define your friend lists. Click on Create List and just say, don't show biz postings. Okay, I said, Jason, I don't want Jason seeing my business postings. Definitely Kim is not very supportive. I'm not going to have her see my business postings. Definitely not Richard Hill. I'm not friends with you, Richard. You know what I mean? So you define the friends. They have to be your Facebook friends, and then you click create. So don't show business postings to these people, right? But then when you are sharing it in the future, you'll be able to basically share on your timeline, friends accept, and then now I'll be able to say don't show biz postings, and that's a very efficient way of basically keeping those people from seeing it. Okay. And just to be sure, you want to just double check to make sure, are you, oh yeah, I want my mom to see it. Oh yeah, I want clients to see it. I just don't want that group to see it. Click Save Changes. Click Post. Okay. So, okay. All right. So Eric says, I just created an ad during the workshop and I have already booked a complimentary session. This is too cool. That's awesome. Eric, good job. You're acting fast. I love it. So yeah, see, the thing is, if your ad, and let's take a look at what ad Eric posted, right? Whoops. Eric. Oh, Eric, you might want to put a space between the N and the dash, just so that, at least for Americans, that'll look better. Okay. So, actually, I don't know what ad Eric created, but here's Eric's page. So you can follow him and check out what he's doing with his Facebook ads, or at least boosts. Maybe he created an ad that isn't shown as timeline, but follow him there. Okay, so the third thing we do after creating content, Facebook ads. And what do? Well, I've already taught everything to you, right? So you click on ongoing ad strategy, click on the heading thing, and that'll jump you right to the 7 steps for Facebook ads. Very convenient. Okay. So why I went over that during, session 2. I went over that during session 2. Okay. So as I mentioned, spend $30 or more. I really hope you can do that, because right now, Facebook ads will get more and more, has been getting more expensive every single month. Every month it's gotten more expensive. So if you don't start now, you're going to wish you did. Those of us just starting now wish we started a year ago. Those who started in 2017 wish they started in 2016. It's really like that. Maybe in 2 or 3 years, I'm going to tell you to stop using Facebook ads. It's too expensive. maybe at that point, I'll go back and I'll start teaching Google Ads in earnest again. Or I'm going to teach for Google Ads the first time this year, actually. But maybe Google Ads will be cheaper in the future. Right now, it's more expensive than Facebook ads. So when will you start? Get the deal while it's good, right? Kim says, is it possible to see ads posted by another person's page so we can see examples from niche mates? Right, great. Glad you asked. Yes, there is a link in this document called Ad Espresso. I'm just using the find feature on the document. And this link, okay, will give you lots of Facebook ad examples, like actual ones you can click through to. So for example, let's say we were looking for, Eric is a relationship coach. So let's say relationships, okay? Industries, you can pick on what industry you want. Let's say education, right? And all objectives, you want it to be lead generation, sales is conversion, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm going to keep it broad for now. Placements, desktop, or right column, ad, attributes, it has a photo in it or whatever, like, okay. Relationships, click on find ads now. What? Oh, you know what? This tool, even though it has hundreds of thousands of examples, even sometimes adding one drop down will mess it up. So I'm just gonna no drop downs at all. Relationship, click find ads now. 475 ads about relationships that has the word relationships in it. Okay, and you can even put relationship. It might be a different. Yeah, 470. Yeah, anyways, close enough. So then you can click on to the ad. You can actually see the actual ad here. Okay, I think you can click one more time. Oh, that goes to the actual link of the ad. Let's see here. Yes, you can click on the comments, okay, or the timestamp to see the actual ad there. Very cool, right? So this is how you can see a bunch of ads. Again, look for an ad, click on it, and then click on the timestamp. Let's see here. Click on the timestamp to go to the actual ad on Facebook. Okay, for whatever reason, okay. Block, I want that notification. Anyway, it usually works. Okay, all right. Let's see, a question. Does that then cost them? Yes, it does. If I clicked on their link, I just cost them some money. So yeah, try not to be cynical about it and click on all your competitors' ads. just to drive up their costs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, please don't click on my ads unless you want to buy. Okay. No, it's fine. Act normally with me because I want real data. I don't want contrived data, right? So, okay. Okay. So the next thing after Facebook ads, if you still have any time left, right? And when I say this is a checklist, I don't mean you literally have to do this all in one sitting. You could say, great, I'm going to do George's checklist number 1 on Monday, and I'm going to do George's checklist number 2 on a Wednesday, and then I'll do this one on a Friday, and I'll do this one next Monday. You can just split this up. Don't have to do it in one sitting, okay? Mindful networking. Now, I have to tell you, I really am surprised every day just about how so few of us keep in touch with each other. I mean, look, right? Like, how many coaches have you hired? How many programs have you bought over the years and coaches have you hired? And how many of them kept in touch with you with a personal message? None. Maybe me. I hope it's me. I don't know. Very few people do. So if you are willing to keep in touch with your past clients, past customers, yes, you're going to keep in touch with them through your email newsletter, obviously. You're obviously going to keep in touch with them through your Facebook ads. But when you reach out to a VIP, one of your favorite clients, one of your favorite audience members, one of your favorite referral partners, personally, it makes a difference to them because nobody else is doing it. Nobody else is doing it except for like really savvy salespeople. Really savvy salespeople are the only ones keeping in touch with us. So please be that person who is outstanding and not just trying to sell them something. Right? So this is something I do several times a day, social media caring. I do this at least once a day. And I've said this before. People find this kind of weird, maybe a little gross. I do this when I'm in the bathroom, okay? When I'm on the throne and there's nothing else to do except my phone. I don't play games, okay? I don't surf the web. I do my social media caring. And I'm sorry to give you that image, okay? But next time you know I'm liking your post, you're like, oh my God, what's George doing right now? Okay, I apologize. No, I don't do it all the time. I'm gonna surprise you. Sometimes I do it at lunch. Okay, so one or the other thing. So basically, if you click on this link, it'll show you. I'm being facetious, but I'm just saying that you can use your time wisely by doing social media caring, and you could basically come here and watch my video on exactly how I do it on my phone. A very efficient way of doing it. Okay, so watch this 12-minute video. It shows you literally, how I create the icon that goes onto my phone that quickly pulls up the post of my clients, the post of my client group, all that stuff. These are icons that are on my phone. One click to see just the Facebook postings of my clients, okay? Or my referral partners or whatever, okay? So, okay, after you do your social media caring, have you, like I said, privately message a VIP. Remember who they are? Well, there's a heading here that you can click on, and that'll bring you to here. Clients, best former clients, ideal prospective clients, current referral sources, former referral sources, potential referral sources, the biggest fans of your content. Basically, those are your VIPs. And if you privately message one of them, they'll be shocked. A couple of you are on the call that I just recently messaged privately. And you're like, wow, right? How cool is that? Very few people that I buy workshops from, that I comment on their content, message me privately, right? So personal notifications next. And most of you do this first, right? You come into Facebook, ooh, let me go and click on that globe icon, 78. I do that last. I do this once every actually, I would say, I recommend that you do this once every 3 days, because it disappears after it's like there's a 3-day window. Like if you don't do this every 3 days, the stuff that was 4 days old, you might not see that anymore. So that I do this once every 3. I actually have a checklist every 3 days, Facebook personal notifications. Okay. And let me actually show you how I go through my notifications so quickly. This will be useful. This is how I do it so efficiently. Here we go. I click on the notifications, and here's what I do. I basically skip anything that's blue. That's the simplest way of doing it. Just scroll past anything that's blue and red, okay? So anything that's purple, ooh, someone tagged me in the post. Now that's important. So what I do is I hold down the Command key on my keyboard and I click on it so that I open it up in a new tab for later viewing. But because I'm basically doing this right now, okay? Anything that's green, right? Green is somebody who's commented on something that you might be interested in because you posted it or you commented on and they commented later. Now, Master Heart is my client group. So I have a schedule for going through my client group comments on a regular basis. So I ignore that right now because I have a schedule for that. So I'm going to scroll past that. Again, scroll past all the thumbs ups and the wows or whatever. Okay, I mean, you might want to give thanks privately, silently, but basically you're just, wow, how cool. People are liking your stuff. Great. Again, green. So I click on this because, somehow I'm someone might have tagged me in something, red, thank you, Marco, thank you. Awarepreneurs, great. I'm going to, open that. See, I'm opening it up in the different tabs so I can click on that later. Okay, but fundraiser, fine, blah, blah, blah. Do you see how fast I'm going through this? Okay, I'm going through that. I already check my notifications on my business page manually elsewhere, so I don't have to look at that. Okay, fundraiser, blah, blah, blah. And if you don't want to see that again, you can always click on the 3 dots and just say hide, turn off notifications about this guy's fundraiser. Okay? Okay. You can do that to any particular one, by the way. Turn off, some of them you're only hiding it, but some of them you can turn off for that thread. If you keep getting notifications about a thread that you don't care about anymore, you can turn off by clicking turn off notifications about this post. Okay. All right. So let's keep going here. Yay. So that I know is on a business video. So I'm not going to look at that right now because I respond to that separately. Right. So those of you know, from now on, when you mention me, please mention my business page. So it doesn't notify my personal page. I'm kidding. You can mention me however you want. I'm just scrolling past these green ones because these are ones that I've already scheduled in my calendar to look at. So, okay, mention you. I don't know what that's about, so I'm going to open that, right? Okay, cool. All right, scroll down. Okay. You see how fast I'm doing this? It doesn't take much time. You just have to open the ones that are green and purple and maybe orange. Okay. Right. She sent me a private message. I already saw that. Okay. Not interested. Replied. Okay. I also open up the ones that say replied because it's hard to find them again otherwise. There's comments, and then the secondary level is called replies, and it's hard to find the replies because they're oftentimes buried under the comments. So I always open the replies just in case. So if it's comment, and I can look at that later in my private client group. Yogi T commented on my post. Cool. Okay. So that's it. Everything that's in white is ones that I've already seen. Okay. So then once I've scrolled through everything, I've opened the ones that I want, then I click on mark all as read. Bam. Now everything's white again. Okay. Make sense? Any questions about this process? So that's how I do it. And then of course I will go through each one of these, line by line, that kind of thing, to respond as necessary. Okay, check on your friend requests. I accept requests from your VIPs. You don't have to delete the other friend requests. You could just leave them, okay? One thing that I didn't tell you about, I think maybe I did or didn't, is you want to make sure people can follow your personal profile. If you don't want to add them as a friend, they will automatically become a follower. You click on the drop-down menu, you scroll down, you click on settings down here. You click on public posts on the left. Who can follow me, okay? Not just friends. Please set this as public. Okay, let me give you the link to that. I think I did put that in the document, but just in case, go to this link in the chat. Go to this link. Public posts, public. Everybody can follow you on your personal, even if you don't. So when someone adds me as a friend, if I just ignore the request, if I don't confirm Richard, or if I don't delete it, if I just leave it like this, he automatically becomes a follower on my personal profile. So he might see some of my personal postings or the shares to my personal timeline without me having to become his friend. Obviously, I'm going to confirm Richard. I'll do that later. But yeah, that's how you just ignore the friend. Don't delete it. Don't confirm it unless they're a VIP. Okay. Finally, okay. Well, I got to wrap up this training real quick here. Comment. The last thing, if you still have time, if you still want to spend time, these are actually really good things to do. I recommend that you try to do this once a month. If you're trying to build an audience, try to do this once a month, okay? Or more often. Engage in groups that you enjoy, especially where your ideal audience is. All of you are probably part of some Facebook group that you really enjoy. Maybe not, maybe. If you enjoy it, don't do it out of a chore. Do it because you actually like the people there. You actually like the threads there. Do it out of joy. And if you do, just go and comment. Be your helpful self. Be your appreciative self. And you will grow your VIPs over time, okay? Second one, powerful. Engage with the newest posts from influencers of your ideal audience, okay? Now, influencers, not competitors. Like, I'm not going to go and comment on Bill Barron's postings because he might think that I'm somehow trying to poach clients from him. Does that make sense? No, he's not going to think that, but he might, right? Like a competitor might. If it's Richard, you might not want to comment on another DNA advisor's posts, right? Even though that's your audience, but you should try to buy ads for them, but not try to comment on their stuff because that person might go, this Richard competitor is always commenting on my stuff. And that's not pleasant either. And the other people might see that anyway, but influencers, people who are famous, right? Is there a DNA person who's like super famous who wouldn't like notice that you're a competitor? Like for me, that might be, I don't know, someone like Marie Forleo, right? Marie Forleo is an influencer of my ideal audience. So I would go to her stuff, right? I would go to her page. I would click on posts on the left, okay? And I would, newest post, right? Newest post, and there's only a couple dozen comments. So guess what I can do? I can click on liking and commenting as George Kao, and I can pick on Buddy the Pup. I can pick on my business page instead. And I can comment. The comment will show as coming from George Kao, Authentic Business Coach. And when people click on it, they'll come to my business page. And therefore, they come to my business page, they will now be looped into my Engager advertising audience. Got it? And I can also, if I don't have a comment to say, if I have nothing to say, I can love a bunch of people's comments. And then Heather will go, who's this George Kao Authentic Business Coach? And then she might come over to my business page. And then again, she will be looped in to my advertising audience. Does that make sense? Isn't that amazing? I think it's kind of amazing. So that's the thing to do. Go to a famous influencer who won't mind you as a competitor because you're way too small for them, right? Then click on this icon underneath their post at the bottom of their post and choose your business page and start, genuinely commenting, genuinely replying in a useful or appreciative way, genuinely liking the things that you actually like. Okay. So yeah, someone said that, I'm sorry, who is it? Jason said, yeah, that was Cindy said that was really easy. Yeah. And Ann's organic. Yeah. Be organic. Don't be contrived, participate in the conversation in a useful way such that people go, wow, who is this person? Rather than, this person is just trying to get attention. How many people comment on things just try to get attention? And people can tell, we can tell when you're just trying to get attention. But we can also tell when you're being of service and when you're being of appreciation, right? Engage with popular posts on your topic using the Facebook search. So Richard, I know he's a DNA advisor. So I'll search DNA. If I were Richard, I would do this, DNA or genealogy, right? Genealogy. Okay, leave this page. I'm not doing anything there. Okay, once I search genealogy, I will click on posts. Okay, the posts tab here. So search on your keyword and then scroll down. You might want to comment on your friends' postings about genealogy. Okay, that's okay. But some of these are really old, so they're not going to get much visibility except your friend's going to see that you commented. So I would scroll down past that to public posts, and then I can basically this is kind of like a quick preview of some of the posts that this is showing up for. Now, you might say, wow, George, this is really old. It doesn't matter. It's still showing up at the top of the search for the term genealogy. So if somebody else of the 2 billion Facebook users is searching genealogy, they're probably seeing this too, even though this is 3 years old. And another ding, 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 aha moment here. The more content you put on Facebook, the more you get this benefit too. I bet people are finding my posts. I know people are finding my posts from 2015, 2016, because sometimes I get random comments and likes on my business page posts from years ago because I'm showing up in the search. Okay? So if I want to comment on this, if I have something to say about this, then I click on the post. I click on comments, actually. Just click comments. Okay? I scroll down. Again, I use, if let's say I was Richard, I would click on this. I would click on Richard DNA Advisor, whatever, their business page. And then I would, oh my God, so many comments. Wait, how do I comment? How do I click comment? What's going on here? Oh yeah, I have to scroll all the way down, okay? So then I would say something useful. And here's the thing, here's a cool thing. All the hundreds of people who have commented, some of them are going to get a notification saying Richard DNA Advisor has also commented on this post. So now you are reaching more people who have commented as well. Okay, so that's how you do that. Occasionally, update your Facebook ad audiences, customer files, email lists, for example. So go to your ad audience. Let's say I wanted to update my MailChimp newsletter audience, my advertising audience. Okay, go to my just going to say MC. What's going on here? Email. Okay. MailChimp. Okay, I don't know. Oh, okay. Okay, right. So see, I put a date that the last time I updated my MailChimp audience for my content list was in 2000 or January. So I would click on this, and then I would click on edit. No, it's not here, is it? Okay. Oh, you know what? If it's older, you can't edit, you can't add more to it. You can only add more when it's kind of recent. So in this case, I would basically, don't delete any audiences you've created. I don't recommend, as long as you've used them in an ad, once you've used an audience in an ad, don't delete it. You can rename it to make it further down the list, or rename it something like old or something like that, but don't delete it. So I would just go over and start a new custom audience with my latest MailChimp list. And then I would update all the saved audiences that use the MailChimp list, okay? That use that custom audience. Okay, yeah, I should write that down. Then be sure to update the saved audiences that use that custom audience, okay? Look at your audience insights from your engagers of the last 3 to 6 months. So you would go to audience insights, you would go to, it doesn't matter, to click on whatever. You would click on custom audience, click on engager, type in engagers, say, okay, I want to analyze the people who have engaged with my, I have a specific one called post engagers, whatever. But I want the people who have been engaging with my content, and make sure you put in the country. Remember that. Country is, let's just say North America for now, okay? North Americans of a particular age, say, 35 plus, who have engaged with my content in the last 90 days, click on page likes, and I'm gonna scroll down to here and go, okay, who are my competitors now? Who are my niche mates now? Who are the audiences that I should try to advertise to? Okay, and then that's Bill Barron, not surprisingly, right? Okay, and basically it's ongoing. So I have a homework assignment. Please go and click on all their ads. No, I'm kidding. Please don't do that. That's too cynical. But now you know who else you want to check out. If you like my stuff, you might like these other people too. Right? Okay. So okay, let's go to check your Facebook likes to remove any that you wouldn't endorse. So click on this link. This is actually, I think this is important. Okay, because Gutsier Living, Humankind Story, Kim Marie, they can advertise to my friends and make my friends think that I like them. It'll say, George Kao also likes Kim Marie coaching when she posts her ad to friends of mine, friends of her fans, friends of Kim. She's going to buy an ad that goes to friends of Kim Marie's fans. And my mom is going to see that George Kao likes. I was like, oh, if George likes her, maybe I'll like her too, and go and check her out, right? You know what I mean? So you want to come in here and truly say that, yes, I endorse these people. If they buy ads for my friends, I don't mind my friends seeing that I like them. So just go through, because I went through some of these, and I liked some of the older internet marketers. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed, because they probably have been buying ads, and people see that I like Jeff Walker or Brendan Burchard or whatever. And honestly, I don't really like either of those guys. For Brendan Burchard's okay, but anyway, I have other reasons. So last thing. Okay, I'm sorry I'm going over time, but I'm going to keep going. So this is a final session here. What about Facebook groups? Common strategy: create a public or a closed Facebook group for your marketing. Run a 30-day challenge in that Facebook group, and then try to sell them on your program. Very common. 5-day challenge, 30-day challenge, whatever kind of challenge it is. I don't recommend it, because you cannot buy ads to your Facebook group members. So you always have to just hope and pray that when you post in your Facebook group, that they will see it in their newsfeed. And if your Facebook group does not have real engagement, your members are not going to see your post, no matter how hard you try. No matter if you pin it to the top of the group, they're not going to see it. And the only way that your group members are going to see your Facebook posts is when your group has excellent engagement, when they themselves have engaged in the group. And either when they have engaged or when the whole group is very active. And the only way to keep the group active is if you work so hard. If any of you have ever had a Facebook group, it is not easy to keep up group engagement. Forget groups, in my opinion. Now, you may be learning from another marketing coach, and if groups are working for you, if you enjoy it, great, keep doing it. But if you're asking the question, George, should I do this whole group strategy that I've been hearing about? I have enough to do on my plate. Then I'm freeing you from doing groups. I don't have a Facebook group for marketing purposes. I have a private Facebook group that's paid. I mean, that's part of my group coaching program. Sure, of course. Facebook group is excellent, actually, as a membership program that people are paying you for. Now, just to say, Facebook's terms of service says you can't make a Facebook group be like the main thing people are paying for. That's against the terms of service. Like, you can't say, please join my Facebook group, pay this money, but the Facebook group can be part of the benefit of another program. Like Awarepreneurs, right? Awarepreneurs, Facebook group is part of the membership. It's not only that. Just like my Masterheart group, Facebook group is not just the only thing people get in Masterheart. That's one of the many benefits. Make sense? Okay, that's enough. Facebook live video, should you feel pressure to do it? No. I'm only doing one live video a month. A month. Even though I'm on Facebook way more than that. Why? Because one, I am trying to emulate minimalistic marketing. I don't want to give people the feeling they have to Facebook Live all the time. And the other thing is, when you do Facebook Live all the time, my opinion is that your audience gets burned out. Your audience gets notified, oh, George is on, George has another Facebook Live, and then they stop paying attention to you because they're like the boy who cried wolf, the boy who cried Facebook Live again. So I don't think, unless you are popular, unless it's working for you, I don't recommend doing a Facebook Live more than once a week. Okay, I do it once a month. And interestingly, every time I do a Facebook Live, I notice my reach is lower for the next week after that of my posts. Isn't that interesting? Because what happens is this. My audience gets notified I'm on Facebook Live. The ones who don't actually care about me will not pay attention. And then Facebook, that trains the algorithm to say, have George get less reach in the coming week. So it's up to you, right? Again, you can recover. I recovered after a while, right? But it does take time. So only do Facebook Live for something that's really important, in my opinion. Like, not just because you are supposed to do it for marketing. Okay. Should you do Facebook stories? Like, how many of you know what I'm talking about? You log into your Messenger, and then you see the little dots at the top. You click on someone's dot. You can also see Facebook stories here on the home screen. These are stories. Okay, these are stories. And you click on it, and it's usually something. Okay, this is kind of a cool story. It's like an inspirational quote. If I write a reply, this goes to her Facebook Messenger. So it's a way to kind of get people to start engaging with you privately, and you can create stories on your business page too to get people to reply to you to your business page. I know that a lot of people are doing this. I haven't done it, partly because I'm also, again, I'm trying to practice minimalistic marketing. I have enough to do with content, with ads. And if I just focus on content and ads and caring for my VIPs, I have more business than I know what to do with, to be honest with you. So only if you I ran out of stuff to do, or if you've run out of stuff to do stories, or if you're really intrigued by it, do stories. Those are the only two reasons you should do stories, not because you're supposed to, okay? Messenger bots, same idea. I don't like messenger bots. Whenever I've interacted with them, I feel like it's very contrived. I feel like they're trying to pretend like they actually care when they're using a robot, to funnel me into something. I hate messenger bots, but some people love them. And some people, it really helps sell stuff, right? It really helps create engagement. It's up to you. I'm not going to teach you messenger bots. There's more than enough to do in this course. But if you really love it, learn from somebody else. It could work for you. It might not. So Facebook instant articles. Thank you, Cindy, for asking it. I think it's too much work. It's too much work because you got to format your website articles to also work for Facebook instant articles. And I think it's for bigger teams that have that kind of woman power to do that. I think that all of us watching this our businesses are too small to make Facebook instant articles worth the effort. So I looked into it. I tried it out. it's not worth it's not worth my effort. So, but yes, it's supposed to be better, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, there's more than enough to do to really do well with Facebook just by following this course. So I've liberated you from yet another thing. So thank you. I'm going to put that in instant articles. Okay. So finally, last thing I just want to say before we go is here are a bunch of effective content examples. These are like different kind of ideas for you that you might want to try too. And I'm going to keep adding more over time. I might add to this every couple of months or something like that. So whenever you come back, once every 3 to 6 months, you might just want to come back and review some of these again and see if you want to emulate anything else. Okay. And you can go to any of these links by clicking on this, right? And then clicking the link below that, and that'll bring you to the actual post that got above average engagement for that page. Okay. So there you go. And this is now a 42-page document. So is there any final question? I know I went over time, but since I'm over time, I might as well stay for another few minutes to see if there's any questions. Was that helpful? Does that feel doable to have that checklist, knowing that you don't have to do it in one sitting, but just kind of work your way through the checklist, knowing that if you do it, you are using Facebook marketing in a very higher leveraged ways than even most of my clients, to be honest, are using it. Even though I tell them about it, not everybody necessarily follows the checklist. So if you follow it, like I'm doing my best to follow it as well, I'm actually doing everything on there except I'm not commenting on influencer stuff because I just run out of time. But did someone unmute with a question?
George, I did. It's Cindy. Hey. There was a discussion earlier up a little ways when you were talking about going and commenting on influencers, whether that was really organic or authentic, and or whether there's an agenda. And I was saying, why can't it be both if you're doing real information? But what is your feedback about that?
Oh yeah, appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, if you are doing it because you have something to contribute to that thread, I think that it's a win-win for everybody. Because obviously, and Cindy, I'm just going to mute you for now. Obviously, if they're an influencer of your audience, you probably have some expertise that audience can use, right? And you have a presence that audience would appreciate. So that's the way that I think about it. But as with everything with marketing, if it doesn't feel right to you, don't do it, because there's more than enough you can do. There's more than enough. Okay. Richard says, how do offer ads work? Yeah, offer ads can work great. We didn't go over that, but in the ad creation process, you can create an offer. An offer basically is, okay, the way offer ads really are supposed to be used, I think it works best is when you have a discount, like a time-limited discount. So if you ever think about a time-limited discount on your book or on your course or on your program, try an offer ad because people like collecting offers that are discounts. And in the ad creation process, there's a space. Let me see if I can go there right now to show you an example. I've created offer ads for my clients before, and they, whenever we try them, it seems to work well because people collect the offers, and then Facebook reminds them for free without costing you any more money. Facebook will remind them to activate the offer before the due date. So when you create a let's see, I'm just going to start over here. It's basically a conversion ad, right? Create a conversion ad. Basically, you're trying to sell something, right? Whoops. Let's just do George Cow. Okay. And let's see here. Where's the offer ad? Where's the offer? Oh, you know what? The offer the offer's in the ad set area. Yes. So let's say I'm click on. Yes, I want this to be an offer. I want to create an offer. 20% off. Or this can be. Okay. This is not just a discount. This can be just any time limited thing. Like I have a program starting. I have this, but offers tend to be more interesting for people. But discounts tend to be more interesting. But even if you just have a program starting, a course starting, I really should try using this for my my upcoming courses and see what happens. I haven't done an offer yet for my own thing, but just because I've had so much to do, I haven't done it myself, but I've done it for clients and it seems to have worked. So give it a try. That's all I can tell you. Try it out and see how it works for you. Okay. Oh, Divorce is, how do you do the whole tab thing for notifications? A tab is basically when you click on a link, you hold down the command on your keyboard and click on the link, and that opens a new tab. On the Windows, it's Control click. On the Mac, it's Command click. Okay. So, all right. With no other questions, I want to let you all go. Those of you who are live here have been very patient. Thank you for taking part in this course. I really hope that you will take action now. Okay, this is an important thing for me to end on. When you take courses, there's an illusion that you have somehow gotten something done, that you have somehow made progress in your business. And I want to help you break that illusion by saying you have made no progress in your business until you actually take action on the course. This is seriously, I mean, I really should make a video about this, because those of us who sell courses, we just hope you keep buying courses forever. We don't care if you take action on it, right? Because that's what makes us money. I don't want you buying any more courses from me until you take action on this one, because that's the temptation. Oh, let me just buy the next one. The next one will save me. The next one will help me. The next one will get me into action. No, it won't. If you're not taking action on this one, don't buy any more of my courses. Okay, so I'm going to say it plain and really there for you there. So thank you, and take action. I want to hear how it goes for you. I want to hear your questions. Don't be shy about emailing me questions. If it's too in-depth, I'll try to make a video for it, or I'll include it in the next version of the course. If it's a quick one, I should be able to answer very quickly. But just don't hesitate to let me know what your updates are and what your questions are. Okay, if you have some interesting update, oh, I ran an ad, this is what happened, or I tried this strategy, this is what happened. If it's an interesting thing, I might include it in the document and in the next version of the course as well. So thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll just unmute for those who are live to say goodbye to each other here. So bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.